Alright guys, so in this video we're going to create a custom component for the October CMS. Now this is going to be very simple. It's basically just going to output some links onto the page, but what I want you to pay attention to is the directory structure and the syntax and so on. Alright, so if we look over here in our files, there's a plugins folder, and by default October has this demo, which is the plugin, and then you see it has a component and it has a little to-do list component. So if you want to check that out, you can. Also Rain Lab, this is the blog component, so everything we do on the front end and the back end with the blog all comes from this functionality. Alright, and if you remember, when we go to the back end, if we go to a page, we could go ahead and use these blog components. Alright, so we want to create one of these for links, for resources. So in the plugins folder, we're going to create a new folder, and this is what you usually want to use, maybe your company name or your own name or something like that. I'm just going to say Eduonics. Alright, and then inside here, let's create a folder, and this will be the plugin name. I'm just going to call this, let's call this resources. Okay, so it'll be the resources plugin, and it'll contain a links component. Alright, so inside here, let's create a folder called components. Alright, now in the resources folder, we also want to create a new file, and we're going to call it plugin with a capital P .php. Alright, and we're basically going to just create a class here. Okay, now it has to have a namespace. Okay, so we're going to say namespace Eduonics, and this has the same formatting as Laravel. Alright, because it is Laravel under the hood. Alright, so Eduonics, not social. Resources, right? Yeah. Something's wrong with this keyboard. So Eduonics / resources, and let's see, we're gonna say down here use system. We basically want to bring in the plugin base. Okay, every plugin is going to extend the plugin base, and it's in system classes / plugin base. Okay, and then we're going to create our class. So this is going to be class plugin, and it's going to extend the plugin base. Alright, that way we have access to all of those properties and methods and so on. So we want to create a function in here. Let's say public function, and this is going to be called plugin details. So plugin details, and this is going to return an associative array. Alright, so in here we're going to want a name, and we're going to say Eduonics, description, we'll say let's see, provides, I don't know, provides, we'll say company resources. And we're also going to want author. Feel free to put your own name. And also an icon. Okay, and I'm just going to use the icon - leaf. So under that, we need to register this component. So, well, we need to register a component in this plugin. So we're going to go underneath this function and create another one, and this is going to be called register components. Okay, and you can have multiple components. So we want to return, and this will be an array. Alright, and then in here we're going to need the location, which is going to be /Eduonics / and then the plugin name, which is going to be resources, and we want the uppercase version of it, and then components and then the component name, which is going to be links. All right, and then we want that to go to resources links. Okay, basically the plugin name and then the component name. So let's go ahead and save this file. All right, and then in components, in the folder here, let's create a new folder for our component, and it's going to be called links. All right, and then inside the links, actually inside components, you want the links folder. You also want a file with the same name, uppercase, so links.php. All right, and inside the links folder is where we can put the actual HTML file. So this is going to be default.htm. All right, so let's go to the links.php, and we're going to first of all put our namespace in here. So it's going to be namespace eduonics / resources / components. Let's just put a semicolon there. All right, and then we need to use a couple things here. So one is going to be CMS / classes / component base. Just like there's a plugin base, there's a component base. All right, and then we also want to use this application exception. All right, which I'm not sure exactly what that is, what that does. But we're going to create a class just like we did with the plugin, and we're going to call this. Let's see, what are we going to call this? This is links. So class links, and it's going to extend component base just like we did when we created the plugin. We extended plugin base. All right, and then we're going to create a function here, and this is going to be called component details. All right, and in here we're going to return an array, okay, an associative array, and we want to put the name, which is going to be links, and it's not a great name, but whatever, that's not important. And then a description, and we're just going to say displays resource links. All right, so what I'm going to do now is define a couple properties. I basically want to have link 1, link 2, and link 3, and they should be able to add them through the interface. So to do that, we're going to have to go under the component details function, and we're going to say public function, and this is going to be called define properties. And inside here we want to return an array, and this is going to be, let's say, link 1, and we're going to set that to an array of options. So for instance, title, we'll say link 1, description, that needs quotes, so description, link 1 URL, and let's see, a default. Actually, you know what, let's not set a default, and then let's set a type, and the type is going to be a string. Okay, so we'll have link 1, link 2, and link 3. So let's put a comma here, and then we'll just copy this, paste it in twice. This one will be link 2, and this one will be link 3. So that's the properties. Now we need a function. We need a function called onRun, and that's going to fire off when it's loaded. So let's say onRun, and we'll create a variable called links, and then let's set it to an array, And what I want is the links that are in each of these, and we can access these by saying this property. So for instance, we'll do this property link 1. All right, and then let's put a comma here, and we'll do link 2 and 3. So this will be link 2 and link 3. All right, and if you don't understand what I'm doing, it'll make sense in a few minutes. So now we need to access these in our HTML. So we can say this page, oops, we need square brackets here. So this page links, and we'll set it to the links variable. So we should have access to that. So let's save it. And now what we'll do is go into our default HTML file, and let's just put a div for class. We'll just say links, and we can loop through these by doing a for loop. So we'll say for link in links, and then down here we're going to do an end for. All right, and inside here we should have access to link. So let's save it, and then let's go back over here and go to a page. Let's say about. Okay, and let's go down to components, and let's see, it's not here. Oh, did we register it in plugin PHP, Eduonics, resources, components, links, and then resources, links. Oh, you know what, guys? I just had to reload the cache. I did a Control F5, and now if we go to components, you'll see Eduonics and then links. So let's add that in there, and then if we go and we click on it, you'll see link 1, link 2, and link 3. So let's say HTTP. We'll just do test.com. HTTP, oops, let's say google.com, and then let's say, I don't know, twitter.com. All right, and then let's go ahead and save, and then we'll go to our front end and go to about. Okay, it's not showing here yet. Let's go back to the back end, and let's go right under this HR here. And what we'll do is we'll say component, and then the component is going to be resources links. Save that, and there they are. There's our links. So we want to make them actually clickable. So let's go back to the default HTML, and we'll just do href, and we'll put that link in there. Alright, and then we also want the link right here. Alright, let's actually put it in a list group since we're using Bootstrap. So we'll turn this to a UL with the class of list group. And then let's wrap this in an LI with the class of list group item. Alright, we'll save that and reload, and there we go. So now we can put these on any page we want. We've made it's a very, very simple component, but nevertheless it is a custom component. Alright, so hopefully you guys like this project, and maybe you can use it somewhere down the line. You can use October CMS, or maybe create one on your own, something like this for production. But that's going to be it, guys. Thanks, and I will see you in the next project.